So here is a really interesting story. Now, Joe Rogan was trending again yesterday, and it's because there was a part of his podcast was a clip where he was basically pondering a move to Texas. Now, he currently resides in Los Angeles in California. That is where the Joe Rogan studios and all that stuff is shot. His show is shot from. So he's currently in California, and he's angry that California's extended the lockdown to August. Now, my understanding of the details of the lockdown in LA County being moved forward is because they're gonna have like certain possibilities. Like it's like more of like a 3 months unless it lessens, and they have like little phases that they're gonna be rolling out. There's no way that they're gonna fully lock everything down for the entire summer, because I think that as we get into June, I think that the numbers will start going down, just because in the heat, you know how the flu season works, and so the heat makes it really much more difficult for a virus to really, uh, you know, live on surfaces and to infect people basically. But he says that he's thinking about moving to Texas. Now, there's a couple of things. The reason why I want to talk about this is actually an interesting conversation to have about Texas. But there's actually a lot of Californians who are moving to Texas. California is like net zero right now. They didn't grow at all. And so the population of California is about the same. Now, what's going on now is there are people from California who are moving to Texas in areas like Austin and Dallas, which are like these liberal areas, and they're moving there in droves. And those are the areas that Joe actually wants to move to. So Texas really looks like to me it's going to end up being blue sometime soon. Now I know that gerrymandering has made it difficult. The cracking, packing. I forgot what the third gerrymandering tactic is, but they crack and they try to pack it in so that all of the people who would be voting Democrat are in one, or crack, like separate them just so that there's enough, so that Republicans barely have the margin everywhere. But gerrymandering may stop. And funny, we're going to be talking about Dan Crenshaw here, because Dan Crenshaw's district literally looks like a lizard, which is hilarious, which is, kind of where gerrymandering comes from. But he says Texas is going to be even more awesome, if that was even possible. Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, anyone else? Texas is open for business for freedom-loving Americans. Now, what's funny about this is Joe Rogan is a liberal, and so when he goes over there, he's going to bring his liberalism and his democratic leaning, liberal leaning beliefs to Texas. And that's what's going on in Texas right now. So I'm not so sure that's exactly what you want if you're Dan Crenshaw or conservative, because the people who are going to Texas are liberals. They're not Republicans. They're liberals who are going over there. There's a lot cheaper areas over there, with very similar surroundings. And so you go somewhere like Austin in Texas, you're like, whoa, it's kind of like areas of California. It's just way cheaper. So, or it's cheaper, in some areas it's way cheaper. So I don't think that's what you want. All right. And now I don't think Elon's going to move because, as you guys saw, I think the governor backing up Elon, that being Gavin Newsom, backing up Elon Musk, I think that that's going to be enough for Elon not to move away. It's clear that Gavin doesn't want him to leave, and so I think his backing up of Elon pretty much probably confirms his stay. Elon probably feeling really good. But is Joe Rogan really going to move to Texas? Absolutely not. He talks about this kind of crap all the time. He's totally bogusing. He's doing the equivalent of like a little child throwing a little tantrum, pretty much, because they can't get candy at a grocery store. It's embarrassing. Okay, first of all, he always talks about moving into the woods. He's never going to do that. But this idea that because this lockdown has been extended, he's really going to move is absolutely hilarious to me. That's so funny. Bro, you're really talking about a podcast that is shot in Los Angeles. Okay, in-person podcast. You're going to move to Texas. Do you know how much that destroys the Joe Rogan podcast? Because so many people go to LA because there's so much media in LA, especially alternative media. It's like all down there. And so when people go there, they go in for Joe Rogan. Now people are going to have to go solely to Texas, unless they already live there, which, you're only going to get like conservative losers who are boring. No one's going to go out to Texas on their own. So it would be a bad business move by a long shot. So no, I don't actually buy it that Joe Rogan is actually going to move to Texas. But I think Texas will turn blue soon, because as you see, the California numbers in terms of population is net zeroed out, and so people are moving to Texas who are liberals. So it's gonna turn blue. I don't know how many presidential cycles. Again, it's tough with all the gerrymandering to have legitimate elections. But without gerrymandering, I think it would have already happened by now. But with gerrymandering, I'm not sure how long it'll take. But yeah, he's definitely not moving to Texas. Not gonna happen.